I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, if you're a writer, the realm of places you can dwell in are endless, limited only by your imagination. It can be the future or the past. It can be a place of hope and light, or it can be a place somewhere very, very dark. My next guest, Malin HL Forsman, has penned a page-turner of a novel called Bad Habits Die Hard. We welcome Malin HL Forsman to Spotlight, and we ask our viewers watching on YouTube to please support writers like her by subscribing to our channel. Malin, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Well, I'm delighted. You're the star,
Well, you're the star today. I loved your book. I think it's wonderful. It feels like it might be a little bit influenced by your own experience because you were an actor at one point in your life as well, correct?
Yeah. I've been on stage since the age of 7, and I have been studying acting in Seattle and Los Angeles. I was part of Stella Adler when I was over 40. And my man died of cancer in 2014, and the only thing I could think of to remain, you know, mindset and love life was to return to acting. So I went to Stella Adler in Hollywood, and I met some incredible people, and I maintained my craft from childhood. I always been on stage. So.
Wonderful. And the protagonist of your book, Pamela Andrews, is a superstar just like yourself. She's a famous author, and her real life gets intertwined with the story. Tell the audience a little bit what that's about.
Well, Pamela Andrews is a successful, writer, as you said, and she's in her 40s, and she has a comfortable life, and she's traveling around talking about her books, and she has her devoted audience. But all of a sudden, she comes to Seattle in January. It's freezing cold, and she passed by the famous Pike Fish Market in Seattle. And there's a guy who's very handsome, just slipped on the pavement because of all the ice, and she helps him up, and that's how they met. And I take a lot of my experience in my life because I lived in America several years. I lived in Palm Beach, Florida when I was 16. I lived in Seattle. I lived in Canada, France, Hawaii, San Diego. And I just, when I was 7 years old, I listened to Elvis, and I fell in love with America from an early age. And I just love you guys.
Great. Well, we love you back, and we love the fact that you put all these wonderful locations. You were blessed to live in beautiful places, and those locales are found in your book, which are great, because I think that's part of the joy of writing, is that it transports you to another place.
Exactly. And you can be all over the world without actually being there, but if you have it in your blood and you've been all over the place, it's very easy to make it real for the reader because you've been to those places. And in Bad Habits Die Hard, they go to every place I've been to, but also Mexico. And that chapter in, the movie by Elvis, Fun in Acapulco. Nowadays it's kind of dangerous in Acapulco, so that chapter is called No Fun in Acapulco. and when the TV series Dynasty hit in the 80s, they also went to Acapulco. I never been to Mexico, but I did a lot of research, and for all my books I do a lot of research. So yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, I think you need to do a little more research and go to Acapulco just for fun. But you've been to some beautiful places. You live in a beautiful place now. You're in Spain, which sounds great. You said it's a little colder than usual right now, so we hope the weather turns and it gets better. Let me ask you what it was like writing this book for you. Did you find it an adventure? Did you love living in these characters for a while?
Oh, yeah. When I create a character, it's always part of the writer, right? But then you have those villains and horrible people, and you've seen thrillers who, kind of know their mindset, and that's how you describe other characters, because not everyone is like, yourself. and it's just thrilling. And I always said to people, when I see an empty computer screen, I get so inspired to just fill it up. But a lot of people say, "What? I don't see that." So I think we all have different, gifts, and writing is the best drug ever. I get high by writing. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I love living in that space also. I love creating the characters. I love creating the world. And knowing that we're only limited by your imagination is great. And
Exactly.
as an actor like yourself, it's great coming up with the dialogue. It's great, creating the nuances of these characters. So I think it's wonderful. Speaking of acting, have you thought about this as a TV show or a series or a movie?
I would love it to become a movie or a series, and I have some things going on right now. We'll see what it's gonna land. However, Bob Dolman, the creator of Far and Away, starring Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise, 94, I think, or 96. And then he also wrote this funny movie with Susan Sarandon and Goldie Hawn when they were old cheerleaders for the rock and rollers. They were like their I don't remember the name right now, but he was a fantastic actor, producer, and he still is. And I did 3 difficult parts with him the summer of 2017. And he was just phenomenal. And I always loved the American passion from directors to people. You're so open-minded. You don't judge all of a second. I have so wonderful friends in America. And my grandfather was born in Illinois in 1894. Right. And so it sounds like I'm 500 years old, but he went back to Sweden. So we had double citizenships. And it's just like I've been amazed about people going to America from the age of 8. I love to read about it. And my first historical novel is called Louise Becomes Lisette. It's also available on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. And it's a totally different story. But Bad Habits, it has the energy, it has the love, it has the thrill. Because every page, people tell me, "Oh, I couldn't have figured that out." So it gets to you and it moves you. And that's what I want.
Absolutely. There's a lot of twists and turns, and it keeps the reader engaged. I think it's wonderful. Are you working on anything else right now?
Yes, I'm always working on. Bad Habits Die Hard is not a long book. It's just like 90 pages, and you can read it while you're waiting for something and get a little bit lifted up or engaged. But I've finished another book, a manuscript that I'm working on right now, and it has maybe 250 pages. And I'm always writing, and I'm blogging on Malin HL Forsman, and I want to lift people because life is fragile, and we all know that now. Lisa Marie died, and it's so sad. And I, she's 1 year older than me, and I followed the Presleys all my life. And America is for me a gold mine of people, and I've gone to colleges, universities in America, and I just love your passion. It's just amazing.
Well, I think the great thing about America is that it's really all of the world. Every American is part of every other corner of the globe.
And everyone is welcome, kind of,
Exactly. I mean, we're Swedish here, we're Irish here, we're Italian here, we're Kenyan here, we're Spanish here, we're we're all everything, which is wonderful.
And congratulations to you, the Irishman.
Exactly.
You are so cool. I'm your biggest fan right now.
Well, thanks so much. I really enjoy talking with you, and I enjoy all the roles that I'm blessed to have. And I'm working on some cool projects coming up, including one called The Lioness, which stars what is her name again? Oh, Zoe Saldana. I got to remember her name. She's a beautiful woman, a beautiful actress, and I'm blessed to be working with her on a film that will be out, a series that'll be out
I
soon.
envious your life, sir, because it's so incredible.
Well, your
You
life's
got to
pretty
be,
incredible too. You're writing all these fabulous books. You're living in great places. Is Spain your home now?
yeah, you have to be a master of your life. Um, Somehow people think I'm very lazy and I just sit there. But at the same time, my mind is always working. What should I do next? And I lived in Mallorca for 4 years, and it was an island, so people are more narrow-minded, if I may say so. Even if I loved Mallorca and I was made there, my mother told me I was made there on my father's and her honeymoon. So it was like I was back to my roots, and I didn't know I was made there. It was so funny when I sat on the plane. My mom said, "Well, you were made in Mallorca."
Well, that's good. That's a nice stamp to have on you somewhere. Made in Mallorca. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah. But now I live in Marbella, the Sun Coast, and I love it here. And I have some great friends from both Sweden and other countries, and Spanish friends. And however, the Spanish language is kind of hard, so I do Duolingo, the language
Right.
app, every day, and it starts finally to land in me, but it has taken a lot of time.
Exactly. Like I said, I had to study Spanish in high school and college, and I don't think I ever got past Spanish 1. I can say, where is the library? ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
We can always say una cerveza and
There you
hasta
go.
luego.
I
Yeah.
need a beer. That's all you need to know how to say. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm glad you're doing so well. I'm glad that you're living this rich life, and I'm glad that you've written such a wonderful book that the world can enjoy and
Thank you,
share. It's
darling.
called Bad Habits Die Hard. Before we go today, anything else you want the folks at home to know about your book?
Oh, hello, America. You are fantastic. Please get my books, Bad Habits Die Hard. It will excite you. And Rory is charismatic and gorgeous, and it's very intense. The mob is after him all his life. And I pictured his mother dead in the pool in Palm Beach. And I had the biggest pool in Palm Beach when I lived there when I was 16. The closest neighbor was Yoko Ono. And it was a thrill to be there at 16. And I just see all these memories, and I create new things happening. And Bad Habits Die Hard it's a good story. You will be, happy and care for the characters.
It's a great adventure. It's more than a good story. It's a great story. Bad Habits Die Hard. It is written by Malin HL Forsman. We are delighted to have her here today as a guest on Spotlight. Malin, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, darling, and good luck with all your great movies and everything.
Thank you so much, and good luck to you with all of the projects you're working on. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.